when I first moved here 8 years ago, right? It was not easy because America is one of the most progressive countries in the world. You definitely have the most progressive language, right? And you guys are like 5 years ahead of Ireland, okay? And there was a time around 8 years ago where a lot of the groups in America decided that the old names for their groups were now offensive and that they needed new names, okay? So you guys came up with new words, and if you used the old words, you would be fired from your job. And I moved here 5 years behind, and then you guys sent that information, but I missed it in the sky. So when I arrived here, I was very clumsy, and I was on a first date with this girl, and I was at a pub in Manhattan, right? And there's a group now that we all know and love. And they go by little people, okay? But they didn't always go by little people. They used to be known as Méjays. And you would see one and be like, there's a Méjay. And they had Méjay wrestling. And you could toss a Méjay if you worked on Wall Street and could afford to rent one. But they didn't like that word. They thought it was offensive. They changed it to little people. They got together and they had a little meeting, all right? Ahead of each of the 7 families, they met inside an oak tree. And they said, we will no longer be known as Méjays. From this day forward, we shall go by little people. And they all went, here, here. And they put a sword in the fire. But I didn't know that, right? So I'm on a date with this girl, right? We're standing at the bar. And then in walks one, right? I hear a little... I couldn't believe my luck. On a first date, everyone else is talking about siblings and being like, I guess I don't know what the difference between a soup and a bisque is. Whatever bullshit. I see one, I go, Now listen, obviously they used to be called midgets, right? So I'm on the date with this girl, and I see it, and I grab her, and I go, look! Because that's what you used to do. When you saw something magical, you would share it. I grabbed her and I went, look! A midget! And she was offended. She was like, he's a little person! But I'd never heard that before. I thought she was just roasting the cunt. So I started laughing, being like, yeah, he is a little person. That's hilarious.